Najljubljeni, koliko se radujem i koliko se srce moje raduje u meni, što smo se evo sabrali na ovaj današnji dan u ovoj vašoj velelepnoj svetinji, kako bismo proslali Boga u Trojici, Oca i Sina i Duha Svetoga i živo načalno. I na današnji dan također da ovdje uznesemo Bogu slavu i hvalu, blagodarnost našu, da čitava Amerika slavi dan zahvalnosti, da mi ukažemo zahvalnost našu za 35 godina postojanja ove svete parohije, ove svete Hristove zajednice. Čuli smo na današnji dan ovo strašno evanđelje, strašno mnogo čemu, jer je prvi put da čujemo kako Gospod će izustiti one reči o nezahvalni i pokvareni rode. Kako da Gospod nama to govori? Govori to kako bismo mogli saznati šta je značenje zajednice. I upravo mi slavimo ovu našu zajednicu ovde okupljena oko ime i lika Svetoga Save. Slavimo i proslavljamo 35 godina postojanja ove zajednice, a mi u pravoslavlju znamo da bez zajednice nema spasenja. Nijedan čovjek nije rođen na ovom svetu da bude ostrvo, sam po sebi da živi, već da ukazuje Bogu zahvalnost za sve. Čak i monasi koji su pozvani da žive kao monos, kao jedinica sami, nikada nisu usamljeni jer su uvek sa Bogom i u Božijem prisustvu. I na današnji dan, šta je došlo do toga da je Gospod izustio te reči? Jedan otac, sav rastrojen, već ne zna šta da radi od muke, njegov sin, jedinac, beše obuzet jednim demonom i baca ga u vatri, baca ga na zemlju, ne može da živi prosto normalnim životom od tog demona. Evo čuli smo ovih dana, upravo jutros, kako se to desilo danas u jednom avionu. Jedna žena, isto obuzeta nečastivim duhom, nije mogla da sedi u miru više avionu, počela da se dere i da pravi nered, da se narod morao sabrati oko nje, da je smiri kako bi mogli da nastave sa letom. Oni koji ne veruju da te takve stvari postoje, teško njima, jer će se otkriti kada im je suviše kasno da pomognu sami sebi. Ovaj čovjek je prepoznao u Isusa Hrista, Sina Božijeg, i znao je samo ako on dođe, da će njegov sin biti isceljen. I upravo u tom momentu demon bacio dete na zemlju, počeo da se riče po zemlji i Gospod je isterao demona iz njega, te pobeže od naroda i od tog deteta, oslobodivši tog deteta. Jer najveći poklon koji je nam Gospod dao kad je nas stvorio jeste upravo neograničena ljudska sloboda. I mi u toj slobodi pozvani smo da živimo ispravnim glavama, punim plućima i da Bogu hvalimo za sve, da slavimo Gospoda Boga kroz sve dane svog života. Onaj koji je lišen svoje slobode, koji je rob, on nikada neće saznati ko je Gospod ako samoga sebe zarobi. Ako je on zarobljen, to je već nešto drugo, jer kao Sveti Pavle, čuli smo jutros kada su ovi novi čtećeni čitali posljednji apostol, kako Pavle, zarobljenik, zatvorenik, našao je najveću slobodu u tvom hapšenju njegovom i u njegovom utamničenju. Najveću slobodu. Kako? Jer je imao Gospoda u sebi i u svom srcu. I mi smo dakle pozvani svi, bez izuzetka, da dobro protrljamo oči, ali ne ove oči sa kojima gledamo na ovaj svet, nego sa onim jedinim važećim okom ljudskog srca. My beloved, on this day when we have gathered here in this holy sanctuary, which is being so magnificently adorned, we have gathered to celebrate as a community the 35th anniversary of the founding of this holy parish. It is indeed a great source of joy for all of us, because it is known in Orthodoxy that without a community there can be no salvation. And then one asks themselves, how can a monastic be saved if they live monos, by themselves, as a singular unit? Because no matter whether they are a hermit or in a community, they are always with God. And this is what we are summoned to understand in our lives. This is why the Holy Fathers write about us when we gather together as we have today in liturgy. We become a holy community of salvation. And you might ask yourselves, how can we, people that we are, human that we are, with all of our faults, how can we be a holy community? We become holy because Christ has said, wherever 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, I will be there present. And as you can see, our community is not limited merely to this parish. It isn't the entire family of our diocese. It is the entire family of Orthodoxy and all believers who have gathered on this day to celebrate the divine liturgy, to usher in the very presence of the living Christ, the resurrected Lord, who will be given to us through his flesh and blood, so that we can commune with him and of him and become one with him as he becomes one with us. And on this day, we heard Christ utter some horrific words, and we ask ourselves, how is this possible when he called us a horrific and perverse generation, a generation of unbelievers? How can the Lord say something like this? The Lord never tempts anyone, but the Lord will always test us. And then he would have turned around and said, goodbye, I want nothing to do with this man. Not recognizing in him that he is both divine and human. He is the Son of the living God, Jesus Christ. But one man in the crowd recognized that, and he brought his demon-possessed son to be healed, because he knew that Christ could heal him of this possession by a demon. And so he did, and the demon fled the child who had thrown on the ground in convulsions and left. And if you think that this is something which is not possible, that it could be mere fantasy, as for instance, the Universalist Church does not recognize any of the miracles of Jesus Christ. Just read today's news and read about how a possessed woman in an airplane had to be grabbed by the people around her and to settle her down because of her convulsions and the problems and the confusion she was causing in the plane. They could have all crashed because of that. So you see, one has to, at all times, understand that the greatest gift given to us by God is our unbounding human freedom. We are free to save ourselves. We are free to damn ourselves. God never will force salvation upon anyone. You have to want salvation in order to receive it. It is an active interaction with the Lord and with us. And so this summons to freedom causes us to understand that when we make slaves of ourselves, then there is no hope for us. But when something from the outside enslaves us, we can still be the most free person in the world, as we heard today in the last epistle that was chanted during the tantrum of the readers. I, Paul, a prisoner for Christ's sake. And he was the freest person in the world, although a prisoner and enslaved, because he believed in Jesus Christ. And Christ is the source of our freedom. We have one thing to do, my beloved, and that is to open our eyes. Or should I say, not merely the eyes of our body with which we perceive this world, but the one eye that is all important, the eye of the human heart. And the person that can open that eye, he will find salvation. Živi bili najdeni i svaki Božji blagoslov neka uvek obitava sa vama od ovog današnjeg radosnog susreta, onog konačnog i sveradosnog susreta u Hristovo carstvo nebesko. Amin.